Over the last several months, Ian and I have gone all in on Go High Level. If you're not familiar with Go High Level, I want to say it's a CRM, but it's got freaking everything built out. This has been my fourth attempt to do it. The first three, I couldn't get through the free trial because it was way too confusing, but I finally figured out, and it is a game changer for our business. Ian and I are going to go through exactly how we individually are each using Go High Level in our business and some tips and tricks that we have found after diving just all in over the last few months. Welcome back to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. Jason Bale and Hard Money Bankers co-host Ian Horowitz from Equity Warehouse. Coming in hot, Thanksgiving time, we're going to talk about Go High Level. And this has been a really, really, really hot topic all around our office. It's really got the creative juices moving forward of like, oh shit, we could build this out. We could do this. We could do that. Go High Level is one of those things that it's like the best case. It's the best thing and the worst thing at the same time. It's the best thing because the sky's the limit. It's the worst thing because your ADD just kind of kicks in. You're like, oh, we should do this. We should do this. We should do this. And it's just overwhelming, but it's awesome. Looking forward to this episode, Ian.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It is an ego killer when you log in to Go High Level trying to figure it out, how to do it, how to go through it. And it was challenging. But once you put your wrap your mind around it and understand, and actually when you start going through sales calls as you're looking at different softwares or different companies to engage service, you realize that the companies that are dialed in have figured out how to dial in their CRM platform. And there's alternatives, but I believe Go High Level is probably one of the easiest, affordable platforms to execute, and is probably going to kill some of these third-party external services. So with all that being said, man, I think we should just hop right into it and maybe just go over the importance of even having a CRM, and maybe one that's like completely vertically integrated.
Let's talk about some of the things that this is very relatable to for your real estate business, because I think that's kind of important. It's funny. I was talking, everyone I talk to that uses alternative systems and then use Go High Level, like somebody that we know does a lot of stuff in Podio. They run their real estate investment portfolio outside of Podio as a CRM. They go into Go High Level. This is like, dude, this is Podio. It's the same thing. Like they, in essence, use the Podio platform. I was like, I think they just copied it, because then you go into websites and funnels, and I'm like, it looks exactly like ClickFunnels, like everything. And then you have the RoboDialer system, and it's like, it looks like so-and-so. Like there's just so many things that it kind of put in place, that is just similar to other softwares that are in place. So let's talk about just the real estate investing stuff in general, some of the capabilities that it has, some of the stuff that we're all building out or we have built out, and why it's just very beneficial, to be on a platform that can handle all that stuff. So at the very beginning, you start with, websites, funnels, opt-in pages, and things like that, right? And you could be doing anything from paid traffic to, whatever, meeting people at meetup groups, networking groups. You can use the RoboDialer if you want to do cold calling. Ian and I have a lot of experience with outbound over the last few weeks, and we've had some very good results, a little bit different, like kind of different approaches. So that's been kind of a hot thing. So like, if you're looking kind of top of funnel to bottom of the funnel is, the bottom of the funnel is your hottest leads. The top of your funnel is your coldest leads. So like an outbound call based on a lead on a list would be like a cold, you go put up a bandit sign with a phone number to inbound on your services. That's, top of funnel type of stuff. You do some sort of Google AdWords, or you do some sort of meta ads. That's all top of funnel stuff. The purpose of it is to be able to collect all that data. And then the magic happens in the CRM functionality, where you can do automatic follow-up over and over and over and over and over and over with these folks. So having those websites and having landing pages and funnels and stuff like that, that's all, top of funnel stuff that's built into the Go High Level platform, which I think is really, really nice, because you don't necessarily need to get built out, WordPress sites or other marketing funnels sites. Now you could port that data in. This is a newer project over the last few months. So in our business, I'm still using our WordPress sites and some of our ClickFunnels sites. And as leads are coming in, I'm porting them into opportunities and contacts inside Go High Level.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, because when you look at it from the standpoint of like understanding ClickFunnels, like ClickFunnels is relatively easy to understand because it was a lander page, and it was like, okay, I bring someone into my funnel. How do I utilize that? How do I capture the info? Then I got to go out and get all these third-party externals to then send them emails, send them texts, send them Calendly links. I got to embed this. I got to embed that. And then, so I think when I tried moving our main website from ClickFunnels to Go High Level, that's where I got overwhelmed. And just so you guys know, as a beginner, as a newbie, if you're watching this video or if you're listening, it can be very confusing, because you need to set yourself up as an agency first, then make a sub account for whatever company you're running. So for me, it was, I need to make a main agency account, and then I had Equity Warehouse under that. Now under Equity Warehouse, I can go ahead and put all my information, so I can put my website, right? And never before, like, it's on our website's hosted on ClickFunnels, and really it's just like, hey, it's a lead capture info, and then there's really no follow-up. But with inside Go High Level, it is very prompting, because you got to really start thinking about what's your opportunity pipeline. You guys are probably saying, dude, like, all this is crazy. You raise capital to do this. Jason, you just closed loans. But if you start to think about it from the standpoint of doing direct marketing, from a wholesaling standpoint, and thinking about the pipeline that you're going to take something down, even if you're flipping houses, again, you can run all that through there. I've been literally thinking about, how do I set up Go High Level to run all of our property management on it and have it as the main communication hub for our whole team, and allow our property manager, who runs all of our properties, that she can then go ahead and run all of the communication, and it's a single point of communication for everybody, right? And everybody can see the internal comments, they can see the emails, they can see the conversations. And I think the transparency helps. But more importantly, as I was saying, is really understanding the pipeline of what you want your customers or your tenants to do. So for me, a prime example is an existing tenant's pipeline of what happens when they put in a service call, they want to move in or they want to move out, is completely different than a tenant who wants to come in and rent the place. Now you're starting to think about the key inflection points in your process that you really need to understand. And I think that's what's important here, is that it can be overwhelming if you don't understand your process enough. If you understand your process enough and you know the key metrics that you're trying to solve for, then Go High Level becomes increasingly more powerful the more you can understand what you're trying to solve for.
Yeah, over the summer when, we took another stab at this project, like, I've always known what we wanted to do in my head, but it was always shattered because it was so much. And you kind of have to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 1,000. But you got to start with something, right? So I whiteboarded everything out and I said, you know what? We're going to build this out to be this automation, just Mac Daddy automation conversation machine, right? So leads come in and then leads get converted into deals, right? Like that in essence is the setup. New leads are coming in and deals are getting converted into deals. After they're a deal, we're not doing anything more with them. And before they're a lead, we're not doing anything more than them, right? Now you can, but that was like step 1 of this. We already had websites. We already had funnels. We already had, conversations, repeat clients, things like that. But the goal was, let's get not cold leads. Let's get people that have reached out to us, put them into the system. Typically they have something called contacts or opportunities. Let's get them put into the system as an opportunity. And then we can follow up with them and get them into a closed sale. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, we don't have any nice, pretty screenshots of this. a lot of our audience listens to us on podcast platforms. So, if you're watching or listening, you'll still get the gist of some of this stuff. So then the goal is, let's put them into opportunities. Let's have people opportunities. Now, an opportunity can be someone that you meet at a meetup group, someone that calls you off a bandit sign, so, somebody who goes to your website and fills out a form, someone who needs to sell a house, someone needs to sell a commercial property, a referral from a mortgage, from a broker or from a realtor or whatever, whatever part of the real estate investing, me as a lender, someone that, finds me online, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. So it goes into the opportunity. And then what we found to be the real magic is the follow-up sequence. Now we have 2 follow-up sequences. We have a short-term sequence and a long-term sequence. Now, over time, and we're already continuing to build this out more, but I think like 101, this is the important part, your short-term and your long-term. The short-term, the entire goal is to get an appointment with them. That can be an appointment in the house. That can be an appointment on Zoom. That can be an appointment on the phone. But they reached out to you, or, you got their contact from somewhere and you need to get them to like a meeting, call it. That's the important part, right? Because, things are done with, relationship based on the phone, on Zoom, in person. That's how deals are had, right? That's not to say that you can't do this whole business on text and email, but we're using these digital tools in order to book a meeting and book an appointment, because we know that we'll have a high conversion rate if we can get them on the phone and explain to them processes and stuff like that. So we have a 7-day, we call it, 7 contacts in 7 days. So every day it's like text, email, call to action is book an appointment on our calendar, book an appointment on our calendar, book an appointment on our calendar. And then we'll have a conversation, right? After we communicate with them, they get taken out of that sequence, and eventually they'll get put into our long-term nurture sequence. And this is all automatic. After you set this up, it's easy. It's just done. And our long-term sequence is an email a month and a text message every quarter. Now, we could build that out even more, but that's typically the way that we have this set up. Now, when they're in an opportunity status, they're not in the long-term nurture sequence, right? Because that means you're working them. You don't need, the long-term nurture sequence is a way to stay back in front of them over time. Hey, you have a project, you have a property you want me to buy. Do you have any referrals? Things like that. But during the opportunity stage, you're trying to get them closed. Hey, can I buy your property at this price? Will you accept my terms? Will you do this? Will you do that? You can build this thing out to anything way you see fit. Automatically send contracts to them, order title, communicate with real estate agents, everything. Completely automatic. After you have it built out. And that's the beauty of it. And the reason that we've had so much success on it is, and I know, again, if you're listening to this or you're watching this on YouTube, there's no really screenshots of this, but just imagine kind of in your head that every contact record has a conversation portal. So yes, there's a lot of things that are automatically happening, but the stuff that's not, and you're going through your contacts or your tasks or your opportunities, because that's the 3 places that we live: tasks, contacts, and opportunities. You can have conversations with them inside the portal, and you can do it on an app. You can do it. Okay, Ian just shared his screen. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. Make it a little bit easier for those watching. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, check us out on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see it that way. But and this is obviously helpful as you're going along. But open up the conversation platform, because I think that's where a lot of stuff happens. Go to recent or all.
I don't have any conversation. Hold on one second. Just give me 1 second. Guy, listen.
There we go.
I trust everybody. Give me 1 second. But you can see here in the conversation.
Dude, you don't have the new add-on yet. That just came out.
No, it's a new add-on.
Came out yesterday. It's a whole revamp CRM.
What, under Labs?
Yeah.
I activated.
Activate.
that.
Keep going. You got to do it on your agency level. That's why.
Oh.
You have to push it to you. Anyways, doesn't matter. Point being is through the conversation tab, you could call them, text them, email them. If they have WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp them. There's so many different features that you can do directly through it. So like our sales reps, and everyone in our office and ourselves, like we're just like this is a conversation machine, right? Like everybody has leads that falls through the cracks. And if you're out there and you're trying to hustle to find good opportunities, maybe to buy as a rental property or as a fix and flip, or you're buying a commercial property, or you're like, hey, it's whatever day of the week it is, it's Monday, and I'm trying to hustle all my brokers that are sending me commercial deals, and I put all my brokers in here as leads. Hey, send them an email, send them a text, set up a calendar appointment. The goal is just pushing everybody along through the platform at a very easy way to do it. Because like Ian, like right now, let's say it's like, hey, listen, I need to reach out to my 10 brokers today. Like that's what I do on Monday is reach out to some of my commercial brokers. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to try to call them. They don't pick up. You're going to text them. Then you're going to shoot them an email. In this, you hover over their freaking name. You already have a templated email. You already have, a short code snippet. You could do this automatically, completely automatically. You don't have to do it. But like, even if you wanted to manually do them and do one-off stuff, you would just do it inside the conversations tab. It syncs to your email. Wouldn't open up your email. You wouldn't take your cell phone out. You would text, email, call directly through the platform. So we've been able to just communicate with so many people over and over and over and quickly, just by using this. And the best part about it is it's all trackable. Everything's already built into it. I mean, there's 1.5 million other things that can be done with AI and stuff like that. But to us, it's the automations and the ease of communication as the CRM that has really catapulted things over the last few months.
And I think one big takeaway and something that I took away from Jason is, guys, this is real data, but it is what it is the fact that your goal when someone is in your opportunity pipeline is always trying to schedule the next appointment. So that gives you something to talk about when you're on the phone. And when you're here, so you can literally call right here from the platform, right? You're talking to someone. Hey, let me shoot you a text with the information. Done. Hey, man, interested. It's Ian, right? It's real simple. Shoot it. You send it. It's done. Now I'm talking to that same person. It's like, hey, when can I follow up with you? And it's like, cool, let me add a task, right? Or, hey, why don't you book an appointment with me? Let me send you my calendar link, right? But the whole goal, my phone just went off, right? It's me, is really just to be able to get to that next task of saying, hey, follow-up call, follow-up conversation. What opportunity are they in? By being able to do that and working on this contact, and you guys will see here when you're in the contact section, is being able to get them into the opportunity. And as you get them into the opportunity, that's where the magic happens. And by placing them here, like if I'm talking to myself, you can see everywhere. It's like, okay, cool. This guy's interested. Let me add him to the interested section. Now that's automatically going to give me a task to follow up with him 3 times over the next 7 days and say, hey, what's going on? Are you interested? Or maybe they're like, hey, I want you to follow. Like I just had a guy today. Hey, follow up with me in a month. Great. Cool. The other cool thing is, boom, I can email, right? Boom, here it is. I can CC whoever I need from the company. At say Bob, hey man, this guy is going to close. Follow up, right? Like you got internal conversations that you can have. And again, everything is here. Task, notes, calendar, documents. You want to get paid, anything you can do here, it's all done right here. And the more that you build this out and the more you can get your whole team to work in it, that's where the magic happens. And that's why, for me, thinking about it, building out, and I got to go look, I'm sure somebody has, these things are called snapshots. So like when you look, like this one that I bought here is for wholesaling, right? I bought this snapshot and it came with all these automations. It came with everything it needs. I can go and build out a website tomorrow. It's all right here. Everything is right here. Everything I need. Here's all the nurturing sequences that are already set up that says, hey, somebody comes in from your website. Boom. Here's everything that it's going to do. And here's all the different triggers. I mean, like, look at that. That is insane, right? Before, like Jason said, you just got to remember, hey, what lead am I working? What am I doing? My desk is full of paperwork. How do I make sure I keep all these people in order? And I think that's the benefit of doing it this way. And the fact that it's completely integrated seamlessly into your website and your outbound marketing messaging, When contacts come in, the system's smart enough to recognize it. And this is a game changer. When people talk about AI, they talk about automation, they talk about all these other things. That's what this is. That is what this thing is building out for you. And again, it comes down, I don't care. AI is never going to take over if you don't feed it enough data, right? So feed your system the data it needs, and then you can get really cool dashboards, right? Like when I go back over here, this company here, it lives and breathes on outbound cold calls, right? So we just started a campaign, 305 calls in under X number of hours, right? Like we're still working on getting all the data in here. But 305 calls to get 16 opportunities, that's a pretty big win if you ask me, right? Like that's 8%? No, I don't know. I can't do that math. 5%. Let's just say that's 5%. 5% is a pretty good number of opportunities that come in the door, right? And now we can get them up and running. And an opportunity for me also is scrubbing the email list and the phone call list to say, hey, this opportunity is not an opportunity. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. So again, it's all how much you pour into it. And I think Jason nailed it on the head. You need to start small, and you need to start with what you understand. For me, it was okay for me to understand this. I just got to get a place to aggregate data. I don't even care what the pipeline says. Like I haven't even optimized this pipeline yet to where I want it to be, but it's something. Great. I got a new lead, contacts made, bad contact info. They're interested or they're not. What I've come to find out, bad contact info, I don't even want in this opportunity pipeline. I want it somewhere else, and I want to do it via a tag so I can ship it out and go skip trace it later. I don't even want it living in here right now. So this was my first pass at it. I'm going to continue to clean it up, and you guys can see the tags, the tasks, everything you need is right here. Your sales reps, your cold callers, your property managers, your workers, everything is here for what they need to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's pretty badass. I think the hardest part is the overwhelming part of it. I think what you really need to do if you're interested in building something out, and keep in mind, Podio's got CRM platforms. There's a lot of different things that have that. And I think it's one of those things that there probably is one-off softwares that might be better at one-off projects. But then you're band-aiding all those projects together, and that's what we've always done, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I think as Go High Level gets better and better, and I'm telling you, it's very, very good. And I have a lot of tech. I have a big tech stack. I subscribe to a lot of different things for efficiency and organization, and to help make our businesses bigger and better every day. So this has a lot, but it's continuing to get added to, and I would challenge you to take a whiteboard out and go through your systems. Not necessarily what your current system is, but what you want your system to do, to build out. And there's things inside our company that I can't figure out how to do yet. Not because the software can or can't handle that. I just can't wrap my brain around the actual system of what I want to build out. And again, it's step 4 or 5. It's not step 1, 2. I already have step 1 and 2 and 3. So it's down the road of if I want to build that out, but start with, lead generation, then do, follow-up, and then do, deals that, have signed, that you have under contract, and then closed. And then what happens after closing? Do you need a management component to it? Do you need a follow-up sequence to it? Like build it out in phases and then map it to what works, because that's what finally worked for us. When I went in there and I was trying to build out this whole freaking thing of oh shit, well, what happens when this happens? What happens when this happens? It was overwhelming. And we were able to get through this because I kept it very, very simple, and I built out the system. And the most important part for us was an automated follow-up system through a CRM, right? We identified exactly what we wanted for that. And then we built in cool, let's figure out how to port incoming leads into this. Cool. Now let's figure out how to tag opportunities and make it even bigger and bigger and, better and better and better. So, and then, we started with, one of our sales guys. Then we added another sales guy and another sales guy and another sales guy. So, the reason we're doing this episode is we feel like the real estate investment community can benefit from having something like this in place. We have nothing to sell. We never have, never do. I mean, I suppose we could always create one of these snapshots ourselves and sell it, but that's not really what this is about. It's about
Yeah,
I mean, it's about, helping real estate investors do deals. Real estate investing is a lonely place, right? Like some people have business partners, some people don't have business partners. Yeah, there's a lot of noise out there of, oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. But the important part is like, what are active real estate investors actually doing? What are they actually using? How do they have a competitive advantage? It's competitive out there. So as we continue to grow our companies, our operations, we like to share what we do. And this is something that Ian and I have been very passionate about. And the reason I know we're both individually passionate about this is we talk every day about it and we compare notes. And I think that's really good because like we're comparing notes and we're both in it in separate businesses that have separate pipeline stages, separate opportunity records. And we're able to kind of go through it and be like, hey, did you try this? Like Ian doesn't even realize that he gave me a really, really good tidbit at 8:25 a.m. this morning, because one of the things that we always have a challenge with, because we do a lot of repeat deals, repeat contact deals, was when I'll give you an example, a lead source. Is that lead source a contact record or an opportunity record? So typically you don't have duplicate contacts. Like the contact, let's say, let's say Jim Smith is the contact. Well, then Jim Smith sells 123 Main Street, and that's an opportunity. Then he sells another rental property, and that's another opportunity. And another property to you, that's another opportunity. Let's say you're a home buyer and you're buying multiple properties from the same person. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I identify what the actual source was, the lead source? Because when you have the lead sources, let's say, most people don't even know where they're getting their leads from, right? But let's say the initial lead source was from a direct mail campaign, from a flyer. So that's the contact source. And then whatever, he got that a year ago, right? Because you reached out to him and he wasn't ready to sell at that point. And then he reaches out to you because you're a good real estate investor and you send email broadcasts to your list at least once a week, like you should be doing. And then he responds to one of your email blasts and he decides to sell a property to you. So the contact lead source was direct mail. The opportunity lead source was an email follow-up, right? And then the next deal that you do with him, maybe he's just a repeat client. That's the contacts. That's the opportunity source. And Ian told me how one of the other softwares that he uses today, Hyros, which is a pretty elaborate, digital ads tracking platform, uses. And what'd you tell me that it's initial click and then follow-up click? And Ian didn't even know that my takeaway was that, because I haven't told him, we haven't talked about that. But I was like, oh, fuck. Like, that's exactly what I need. I couldn't wrap my brain around it until now. So
yeah, it's what the initial click was and then what the last click was. I was saying to Jason, well, who cares? You're only worried about the last click. Or no, he was only worried about the last click. And I was like, well, if you meet someone at a meetup, you need to know that meetup paid off. And this is how it paid off. It paid off because you met them at the meetup, you built credibility. Then they clicked on your Google ad and then they didn't convert. Then they clicked on your Facebook ad, they didn't convert. But now you got this data that they clicked these two things. And then finally they clicked your LinkedIn ad. And that's what converted them. And it's like, okay, well, if all my meetup people are doing that, maybe we should just serve them linked up ads immediately, right? Like that's the data you need. Or the other way to look at it is, well, I met them at the meetup and I already closed them, but then they clicked on my Facebook ad. I'm wasting money on existing customers. My ads are supposed to be for new customers only. And I have set retargeting ads for existing customers. And dude, I don't know. I know how to talk about it. I don't know how to keystroke it. And this is where it would lead us into another conversation again on who, not how. But this is the importance of needing to understand working through your problems to be able to articulate it to the right who to then get it done. You know, we were talking about Jason's onboarding initial loan application software form that he has built out and how to implement that into the system. And it's like, oh, well, that works. But it's like, you've gone through all this work to get all your leads to go into this system. And then you're going to leave this one piece of paperwork outside the system. That's silly to me, right? It should be all inclusive in here. So it's like, yeah, you're right. I need to articulate this to the right who, ultimately getting us the right result. And I think, I don't know, I'm just going to put this out there. We should probably build our real estate reserve podcast out on Go High Level to automate, because there's all kinds of booking calendars and everything else. But more importantly is, like, I don't want to say that we're cocky, but I think this is the maturity of owning a business, both of us over 10 years, and saying, yeah, we're still in grind mode and we'll do the dirty work to understand it. But we're also quick enough to recognize, like, I've gotten into where I can. I need someone to come in here and immediately help me. And I think that's probably where some of the rub on Go High Level is, and some of the confusion of, all right, I got this, I understand it. And part of it's not having, I don't want to say not having the drive to do it again, but like, you've already built out something that works. But if you want to get to the next level, you got to blow up what's working potentially and rebuild it to be able to do that next round of deals, do that next level of things. So anyway, that's my Thanksgiving soapbox, and I'm done. So
yeah, no doubt. Anyways, to sum up, let's just sum up a few different things real quick.
All right.
Because I think we actually got away from probably the most important takeaway of this whole thing. And the important takeaway is actually having a follow-up and automation sequence in order to convert your deals, in order to convert your leads. Because I think that's an important part, right? You're getting leads that are coming in from offline or online interactions with sellers, brokers, whoever your target audience is. And you need a system that, in essence, can convert them into closed deals, right? Because you call a homeowner, let's say somebody's interested in working with you, you call them, they don't, they're not interested currently. Okay, no problem. Thanks anyways. And then they're done. Maybe you put them in a Google sheet, follow up within 6 months. Chances are you probably don't. You put them in a CRM platform, and it does all the follow-up for you. And if you're a real estate investor and you've been in this business long enough, you know damn well that the majority of people that are contacting you today are not ready to sell, buy, whatever today. They are in the future. I mean, I have people on my email database that I reached out that originated and found our company 10 years ago that just today we're doing the first transaction for, right? So, like, you got to have a system in place in order to stay in front of them on that. So the key takeaway is, it doesn't really matter what platform you use. It's having a system in place. Doing this manually doesn't really work at scale. You've got to have an automatic system in place. And then, that's the big takeaway. And if you are looking to build out some sort of CRM, you don't want it to be so overwhelming. You got to do it in chunks and in baby steps, and prioritize what's important first, and then work your way up. What's important to us in our business is the automation and follow-up stage. That's what we cared about, right? Like, I haven't ported all of our websites for traffic into here yet. I may or may not do it. It's the automation of the communication to stay in front of them over and over and over and over. So hopefully everybody listening and watching found this episode helpful. I mean, it's a very sexy topic to Ian and myself, because we talk about it all the time. And there's a lot of things that we're like, oh shit, man, we can do this inside our businesses, and this will help explode things. And I already know what the metrics looks like in our business, because I have everything set up, right? And even if it's not fully, flushed out with everything, like, I see the success that our team has had over the last few weeks as everyone's kind of living in this full time, and it clearly works.
Yeah,
So
it's exciting. It really is. And I think, guys, share any experiences you have with it. You got any snapshots for sale? Let people hack them. Let people get into them. Post them in the comments. We're not here to sell anything. We're not building out snapshots for anyone. It ain't happening. But in the same sense, if you guys got any ideas, it's always cool to look and check them out. And with all that being said, guys, we appreciate you. Let us know how you're using Go High Level, or any CRM for that matter, inside your business. And look to see you guys on the next one. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Holiday season's coming up. We got a bunch of good guests coming up. If you guys get any value out of this show, please feel free to share it. And we will catch you all on the next roll.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too. Till next time, thank you for tuning in.